Hello, my beautiful love. Welcome back. I've missed you so much. All I could think about was coming back here to talk to you, to talk about a whole new topic. And yeah, we got a new journal with the whole luck. You can tell it's very serious, okay? What we're talking about is very serious. These are precious ideas from God that He keeps bestowing upon me, putting them in my heart. And every single time I haven't filmed yet for you, I keep thinking about it. Today we have such a juicy conversation. I know I say that for every conversation, which is true, but this time it's just very juicy because we're talking about something that most women can relate to: male-centeredness. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a good angle. If it's not, I apologize. Okay, your girl is just learning this whole content creation stuff, especially YouTube content creation, because I have to put my phone like this. I'm used to creating content like this, like portraits, right? Not landscape, but anyway, we're learning. It's okay. Male-centeredness, what exactly is this then? Have you even heard about it before? If you have, please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. I also want to know if you have your own definition of it. What exactly is it? Do you think you're stuck in it as well, or do you think you were once stuck in it? Just let me know your story. I'm very curious, and please do not feel ashamed. No judgments here, okay? This is a safe space, a safe garden, because most of the things that I'm teaching you, if not everything, I can relate to, okay? I was once there, and I would also bring you my stories so they can help to release your shame, and you can look back at those experiences with nothing but love and compassion for yourself, for your past self especially, okay? Or your current self if you're still stuck there. It's okay. I formed a new definition of this, or God gave me a simple definition, the simplest definition ever. Male-centeredness to me is when you make a man the source of your happiness. That's it. I promise that is it. When you make a man the source of your joy, your peace of mind, your validation, your whatever it is in life that all contributes to your happiness, that is what male-centeredness is. The day this definition came to me, I think I was doing the dishes, and it just came, and I'm like, that is true. That is really what it is. It's nothing more than that, I promise you. And I love this definition so much because once you understand it like this, it helps you snap out of male-centeredness more. Because once you just understand that you're seeing a man as the source of your happiness, what happens? It makes you eager to break free from that, because you're like, wait, I shouldn't be seeing another human being as the source of my happiness. I shouldn't outsource my worth, my happiness, my validation, my peace of mind, or whatever to a fellow human being. It makes you just snap out faster. So I really love this definition. Let me know what you think about it, if it's similar to yours. I'm really curious to hear from you girls. I really love receiving your comments, so please feel free to leave a comment, okay? Really appreciate it. Before we go right into the cause of male-centeredness, let's talk about the signs. And I'm doing it this way just because I want to give you more of an understanding of it. So by explaining the signs to you, it can make more sense, and then I'll explain why a lot of women are stuck in this reality. It's a fake reality, okay? Alright, so one sign of male-centeredness is always looking out for male attention everywhere you go. So every time you go outside into public, you're on the bus, you're in church, you're, I don't know, somewhere, my girl, you're always looking out for male attention. You're at the club, you're always looking out. Is a man looking at me? How can I make this man look at me? How can I get myself to be noticed by men? What can I do to make him notice me? So maybe I can make my dress more fitted, so you know my curves can show. All of the things that men typically desire can pop out and can attract him. You're always thinking about those things. Like, you're always just thinking, how can I impress a man? How can I first of all get his attention? And then how can I impress him? If he does notice me, how can I keep his attention on me? That is your priority everywhere you go. Why are you doing that? Because remember, you believe that a man is the source of your happiness, right? So you believe that without a man, you cannot feel happy. So that's why when you go outside, you're looking for a way to be happy. That's your priority. And when you see a man, you think to yourself, okay, this is one way I can be happy. How can I pull him to me so he can come and fill my cup up for me? Remember the analogy in the previous video? We talked about self-love. We talked about filling up your own cup so that when a man does come into your life, Your cup is so full from the love, the validation, the respect, everything you already give yourself, that his own does not feel like the source. It only adds to it. Whatever he's giving to you, his attention on you doesn't feel like the source of your happiness. That's not the reason you have an amazing day. No, it just adds to it. It's like, I already had an amazing day because I already give myself attention. I already give myself love, validation. I already compliment myself. So even if I go outside and a man notices me, it doesn't fill up my cup. No, it just adds to my overflow. If a man gives me a compliment, it does not make my day special all of a sudden just because a man, a fellow human being, said some nice words to me or some kind words. I appreciate them, but I already told myself these things. I already know. I already know I'm beautiful. Thank you so much though, but I already know. That's my mentality. That is the meaning of filling up your cup. So you're going outside to look for male attention because you believe man equal happiness. So you're looking for happiness, basically. The second symptom is that you're always studying other women's bodies, comparing yourself to them. So you're always trying to see what other women have that you don't. This can be on social media or even in person, everywhere you go. Even if she's a stranger or your friend or your family member, you're always looking out, studying her body, looking at her features, you know what I mean? Or sometimes it could even be her character. So maybe she might be very free-spirited, very feminine, very lovey-dovey, and you think to yourself, oh, that's why men choose her and they don't choose me because I am not like her. So you're not comfortable, you're not confident in yourself. You're always looking at other women, trying to see what they have because you believe that they do have something that you don't. Why are you doing this? You're trying to figure out what is right about these women and wrong about me, and you believe that if you figure out what is wrong about you, then you can fix it and then you have a man in your life. So you've blamed what is wrong about you for your unhappiness, and you believe that what is right about you, once you find it out by studying these other women, will give you happiness, because then what is right about you will pull the man to you. Remember, man equal happiness. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just telling you the symptoms and I'm explaining why you display those symptoms, basically. Okay, so the third one is scanning for threats. You see other women as threats, so you're always striving to keep him from those threats. So when you go outside with your man, even if it's a man you're not even in a relationship with, maybe you're just seeing each other, you're just going on a date with, you're studying these other women, trying to make sure none of them steal your man. You believe that a man can be stolen. So when you go outside with your man and then you see a very beautiful woman, a woman who meets society standards, you become so intimidated by her. You're observing, you're even looking at him to see if he's noticed her yet, and you're trying to make sure they don't meet each other. If you have a very beautiful girlfriend, you make sure not to introduce your man to her. In fact, you make sure he doesn't even know about her. You don't want to talk about her because you're scared of losing him to her. You believe that she can steal your man. So why are you doing that? Because remember, a man in your life signifies happiness. So you don't want to lose your happiness. That's why you're trying your best to protect your happiness, to protect your man. Next one is performing for him. So this is when you shapeshift. You pretend to be someone you're not just so that you can please this man. You pretend to like the same thing he likes. You pretend you love things that you know you don't love. You pretend to love cooking when you know you don't love cooking, or cleaning when you know you don't love cleaning, because you believe your value is tied to your domestic skills as a woman, your cooking abilities, your cleaning abilities. Sometimes you're also trying to prove your value through intimacy. I'm trying to say this carefully because it's YouTube. I don't want my account to be banned, okay? But you're trying to prove your value through your, you know what I mean, your skills in the bedroom, basically. I hope this is safe to say on YouTube. So that's why sometimes when you meet a man, you're leading with all of the things that you can do, how good, how great, how amazing you are in bed, how much you are going to, make him enjoy, and all of those things. That's what you're leading with. You either lead with that or you're just your domestic skills. Oh my gosh, look at how well I can cook, look at how well I can clean. Sometimes you lead with all three. The three of them. Okay, so you're always performing for him, either by pretending to be someone you're not to fit the character that you think he is going to love, or you just keep displaying your skills that you think will keep him. Basically, your priority is how to keep this man. Remember, man equal happiness. Hence why you're auditioning. It's the same way when you go on a job interview, you're auditioning, you're trying to just display all of your skills so that you can be chosen for that job. That is the same mentality here. Here, you're seeing the man as the prize and you are the applicant. Here, he is your employer. You are the interviewee. You're the one coming over to prove how much of an amazing worker you're going to be for him just so that he can pick you. That is the mentality here. The next one is competing for the man, which is very similar to what I already shared about women. I think that was the second one, always studying other women's bodies. But here, you're not just studying their bodies, but you're competing. So basically, you're trying to outperform the other woman. If she's physically beautiful, you're trying to think of a way to be more physically beautiful than she is. If she can cook, you're trying to think of a way that you can cook more. You're always just trying to outperform the other woman. If your man should mention another woman while he's telling you a story, or you just get to know that he was seeing someone else or something, instantly it puts you into this competitive mode. You want to make sure you keep him from her before she wins him over. That's what you believe. I know it sounds so weird. When you start talking about these things, they do sound weird, but this is how we've been raised. This is what we've been conditioned to believe. This one especially is for my situationship girlies. You're with a man who has refused to be committed to you. Sorry, there's a little kid here and she's so cute and she just, I don't know, she's calling out for her mom. Anyway, your man has made it known to you that he is seeing another woman, and instead of walking away, instead of letting that woman have him, you start thinking, how can I take him from her? How can I make sure that she doesn't steal him? So that's what your priority is, performing better than she does. I feel so much for my girls in situationships like this, because men who keep you in that limbo, who keep you in that entire situation, are wounded men. And they're using you to feed their ego. Their ego is so bruised and fragile that they need you in order to feel good about themselves. So they enjoy watching you run around in circles trying to figure out how you can be better than that other woman. In fact, that's why they're mentioning the other woman to you continuously. They enjoy seeing you crumble. They enjoy seeing your insecurities jump out. They enjoy hearing you ask questions about the other woman, like, okay, so you love me more than she does? Okay, so what is it about her that you love? Why can't you love me too? Why can't we be together? They love hearing you say those things because they're wounded. When a man is wounded, he seeks to get validation from wounded women as well, because these are the only women who can give them that validation that they seek. He knows a secure woman will walk away because she'll be like, you can have him. Like, she doesn't compete for a man. No, she knows she's the prize, okay? But he knows also that a wounded woman, a woman who doesn't yet understand her worth as a woman, you are so powerful as a woman. I wish I could wake up every single woman to this fact, okay? You are so powerful as a woman. But until you realize this, wounded men will keep taking advantage of you because they can see your wounds. It's obvious to them. I know you think they don't know, but they do know. I promise you, it's obvious to them. The next one, and I think the final one I'll talk about today, the final sign I'll talk about today. Of course, there are so many signs, okay? But the final one I'm going to talk about right now is you value male attention above everything else. It's not the same as the first one where you go outside looking for it. Here, you value male attention, like even above your family, even above your relationships with your girlfriends, those girls who have been there for you through thick and thin. You're ready to throw them under the bus just so you can have a man's approval. So if you have a man in your life who tells you, hey, I don't like that woman, maybe because she is more secure and she can see right through him, because a secure woman can see right through the wounded men, right? But when you have unhealed wounds, you can't really see it. You can't see right through the man, okay? So that's why I'm here to help all the women I can, honestly, to just see right through this thing. It's so real. But anyway, let's say your girlfriend is more secure and she can see right through that wounded man, but he feels threatened by that. Of course, he too doesn't want to lose his source of validation, which is you. He loves the way you validate him. You stroke his ego. You make him feel good about himself because you're worshiping him. You're practically worshiping him. Now that he's noticing you have a girlfriend who is attempting to steal his source of validation, he tells you, because he knows you will listen to him, he tells you to end that friendship. This girl has been with you, been there for you through thick and thin, known each other for several years. but you listen to him because your priority is to keep male attention in your life, male approval. You want him to approve of you. Or when your man tells you, hey, I don't like you on makeup. Wounded men do this a lot because obviously when you wear your makeup, it elevates your look, right? They also feel intimidated. They can see your light. The only thing is you cannot see it. They can see your potential. They know that if you go out there with this much light, someone else, someone better for you can get your attention. So he tells you, hey, I don't like women on makeup. He just badmouths women who wear makeup, and then he praises women who look natural. Even if you truly love makeup so much, you decide to do what he says just so you can get his approval. Let me tell you the funny thing about this situation. 9 times out of 10, these men, when they cheat, they always go after the women who put on makeup, who take care of themselves, who look all glammed up, get their nails done, put some makeup on, looking all good, wearing the exact clothes that he condemned. They go after such women. Why? Do you think that's a coincidence? It's not. So when a man tells you that, and deep down you do love those things, it doesn't have to be makeup. Let's say he says he doesn't like a woman that goes out with her friends. Just insert whatever example you have of something you really love doing, and then your man tells you he doesn't like you doing that, and you listen to him. You decide to abandon yourself, your true self who loves those things, just so you can please him. That is a sign of male-centeredness. You're making him the priority in your life when you should be the priority in your life. Your happiness should be the priority in your life. Do you feel happy when you do give up those things? If you don't, that's a sign. That's a sign you shouldn't give up those things. Let's talk about what causes male-centeredness in women. I don't even need to talk too much about this one. The answer is society. Society, my girl. That is the reason why you are stuck in male-centeredness. Growing up, a lot of us were conditioned to see men as the prize, right? A lot of us were conditioned to think of a man before even thinking about ourselves, before thinking about our well-being. Women are raised to be wives and mothers. Girl, which I'm grateful for, being raised to be a good mother, be a wife also. But that should not be the only thing you put into a girl child's mind. Just, this is how to be a good wife, this is how to be a good mother. What about other areas of her life? Like, she has other things in life to experience as well, not just motherhood or being a wife, you know? And what's amazing to me is the men are not raised in the same way. That's why you see what you see, my girl. That's why you see a lot of men are wounded and they're stuck in that state because they're not raised to be good men, to be good fathers, to be good husbands. They're not raised like that. It's just so much pressure put on the woman. Growing up, I was always told things like, learn how to cook for your husband. Or if you don't know how to cook for your husband, he's going to chase you out of the house. I literally used to hear a story all the time. The story used to have different endings, by the way. So this story of a woman who didn't know how to cook. So there's 2 different versions of this story. The first version was that she didn't know how to cook, right? And then she got married to this man who thought she knew how to cook. So she used to have her mother come over whenever her husband would go to work. She would have her mom come and cook all the meals. One day, her husband caught her and he threw her out of the house. Crazy. Like, oh my God. Anyway, the second version is that she didn't know how to cook. She used to learn from YouTube all of the cooking skills, all of the recipes, everything. And one day her husband also caught her and he threw her out of the house. How does that make any sense? Even as a child hearing this, I remember I was super flabbergasted. I'm talking about 7 years old, 8 years old. I still knew something is off over here. This makes absolutely no sense. I remember I'll be telling the people telling me this, like, why doesn't he know how to cook? Like, why? Like, I just could not understand. And the question could never be answered. It was just, don't you know a woman is supposed to know how to cook? But I'm like, but it's a survival skill. Is it only women who eat? But you know what amazes me? Despite knowing that this made no sense, I still didn't escape from male-centeredness. Like, a lot of things that I was told growing up made no sense. A lot of things that I saw made no sense. And still, I fell into the whole male-centeredness trap. It's a fake reality. I still ended up believing that a man was the source of my happiness. He was the prize in my life, so I should abandon myself, my desires, my needs, my wants, just basically abandon myself to get a man. Not just get a man, but to keep him. That was what I learned Also, I would look around me at the other women in society, in the community, saying how much they suffered, and these men never faced any repercussions. In fact, the women were blamed for the men's misbehaviors. It still happens, girl. I went back to Nigeria last year. It was still the same thing happening. This time though, I was able to experience Nigeria with a different mentality, like just being able to see right through all of the nonsense that was going on. But the women were always blamed, like, okay, what did you do? I'm sure you weren't good enough for him. They always boiled it down to maybe the woman's beauty, like, oh, she wasn't beautiful enough, or her domestic skills. Oh, maybe she didn't know how to cook, she didn't know how to clean, or her bedroom skills. You know what I mean? They always boiled it down to those things. It was always the woman's fault whenever a man misbehaved. When you grow up saying stuff like that, even if inherently you know it makes no sense, you know it's not right, you might still turn out that way. You might still turn out to be male-centered, okay? I didn't realize how male-centered I was until I snapped out of it, and then I was able to look back and see, girl, I remember whenever I was scrolling on social media and I saw a woman talking about male-centeredness, I felt like she wasn't speaking to me, because I felt like, I'm not male-centered, But when I snapped out, I could see that I was truly male-centered. I also had and displayed the symptoms that I shared with you. I used to always look out for male attention. I felt like if I didn't get male attention, something was wrong. Something was wrong with me. Something was wrong about me. I felt like I had to be a certain way according to society standards for a woman. I had to look a certain way, face card, body card, always on flick. I also had to know how to cook and clean. And I remember when I got into a relationship in my adult life, I remember this man I was performing so bad for. You know what's amazing? When you're performing, you know you're performing. You might not consciously know it, but subconsciously, I promise you, there's a part of you that knows you're performing. Yes, I remember very clearly. That's how I know that part of me knew, because the memory has stayed with me since then. One time we were talking about cooking, cleaning, all of these things in the household, and then I lied to him that I loved cooking. Girl, if you know me, I do not like cooking. I don't like it, okay? I do not like it. But I lied to him. And I remember when I told that lie, that part of me asked, why did you lie? But I just brushed it aside. That part of me was so intrigued by this man, because he freely said he didn't like cooking and he didn't want to be the primary chef in the home. That's what he said. Yet I couldn't freely say that thing. Not like he was holding me hostage, not like he was doing anything. No, I convinced myself that if I said it, that was my way of protecting myself, right? So I convinced myself that if I said it, then I was going to lose my source of happiness. That was what I thought. So that's why I lied. I lied that I loved cooking, but I didn't like cook. I still don't love cooking. I cook for survival purposes. But honestly, if I could get a chef, I would do it, okay? I cook just for self-love purposes. That's it. Male-centeredness made me tolerate a lot of nonsense from men, because I just felt like if I was the chill girl, then I could keep them, right? So I had to just be chill, just be relaxed, just don't take things too personal, don't be too sensitive. So I wouldn't express my needs, I wouldn't express my desires, I wouldn't express my boundaries even. Like, I would let men cross my boundaries because I just believed, like, he's already giving me his attention, so that's enough. I also wanted to be low maintenance because I didn't want him to think of me as a burden. I felt that just being with me was a favor. Just a man being with me was a favor for me. So the least I could do was help him have an easy life, not asking him for help whenever I needed it. Just be independent. No, my love. I totally understand how it feels. I'm sharing my story with you so you don't feel ashamed of yourself, okay? There's nothing to be ashamed of. This is what society has conditioned you to believe. But if I could snap out despite how deep in it I was, if I could snap out, if I could wake up, you can as well. You know what makes me a secure woman today? I snapped out. That's it. It's like when you snap out, you just look around and you're like, what in God's name is happening here? How can I outsource my worth to a fellow human being who didn't create me, who doesn't even have the power to create me? I gave him the responsibility of my happiness, of proof of my value. Like, hey, you have to show me that I'm actually valuable. That's what I did. Let's talk about how to snap out of male-centeredness, okay? The first one is stop trying to carry the outcome of the relationship on yourself, the responsibility of the relationship working. Stop trying to carry on that burden. It's not yours, girl. It's not your job to figure out how to keep a man. That man should be wondering how to keep you. Let me tell you a secret. The best relationships are the ones where the man is in that position of wondering, how can I keep this girl impressed? How can I keep her interested in me? What else can I do to improve her life? He's always thinking about that. That is pure, healthy, masculine energy. This is the most enjoyable kind of relationship, my girl. And let me tell you, relationships are supposed to be enjoyed, not suffered. Just keep this in mind. They're supposed to be enjoyed, where the man is constantly pursuing, and they do love the pursuit. At least the healthy masculine men do. And then the woman just remains in her feminine. She receives and then she pours back into him. So it's a beautiful dance between the both of them. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a situation where you're just constantly thinking, how can I keep him? What else can I do for him? How can I keep off the threats? You're thinking of other women as there. Stop doing that, my love. Learn to relax. It could be that maybe you're not even with a wounded man. Maybe you're even with a healthy man. But when you're stuck in that mode, guess what? You will repel him. Because when a woman is stuck in that mode, it means she's desperate. That is the truth. And desperation, I always say, desperation has an odor. You might not be able to smell it, but people around you can smell it. The man you're seeing is able to tell you're desperate, and that is repelling him. He's like wondering, why does she think she has to work for me? How come she doesn't even know that I have to work to keep her? How come she doesn't know she is the prize? I thank God so much for making me a woman. I'm so grateful. I love being a woman so much. Women are the prize. When you can see this, oh my gosh, it changes your life. It changes how you move in life. It just adds to your confidence, especially when it comes to dating, relationships. Girl, you are the prize, okay? You're not supposed to be the pursuer. This doesn't mean that it reduces the value of men, okay? I think that that's the reason why some men try to argue about it, because they think that it means they're not valuable. That's not what it means. It's so fascinating to me that older men see this, they know it, and they admit it, that women are the prize. I've seen it so many times. There's an old man in church I was speaking with a few weeks, I think a month ago, or maybe just a few weeks ago, and he told me this, that women are the prize, but when you're a younger man, these were his words, when you're a young man, you just don't want to see it. So you take advantage of the good women around you, you just play women. But as you grow older, you start to see that truly women are the prize. I also have an older friend who has told me this, an older man too, who has told me this, how much he deeply reverences women because he knows that women are the prize. I also listened to a guy on TikTok, an older man who gives advice, who admitted that when he was younger, he also used to play women. I think it was after he had a daughter that he changed, but now he comes on TikTok and he shares all of these beautiful pieces of advice for women to stop being with wounded men, and he keeps saying this, women are the prize, and a lot of men know this. So I'm trying to put two and two together, trying to figure out why it seems like the older men know this more, maybe because of their experience, or maybe they've just gotten to a point in their lives where their ego isn't as fragile due to their life experiences that's giving them wisdom. You are the prize, my girl. God has given you the greater responsibility to create life. Whether you want to have children or not, or whether you can have children or not, you still carry the life force energy that is more powerful than anything you've ever come across in your life, I assure you, okay? The life force energy resides in the woman's body. So simply being in the female body, you carry this powerful energy. That's why whenever haven't you ever wondered, you see, whatever you pour into just blossoms like crazy. When you decide to pour into yourself, you blossom like crazy. That's what I did, and that's why I'm blossoming. When you decide to pour into your children, you see the same thing. You decide to pour into a business, this beautiful life force energy, what happens? Your business just skyrockets. When you even decide to pour into a man, you see he starts blossoming. Don't you ever notice? Suddenly he's filled with so much confidence, even to the point of seeming arrogant. Like, you stabilize him, you stabilize his inner home. Women often underestimate the impacts they have, but a lot of men know this. They're deeply aware of this. That's why they're competing for you. That's why they go after the cars, the money, whatever, chase all of these things to get access to you. You are the prize. This is not to inflate your ego, okay? Girl, don't let this inflate your ego. It's just to make you wake up. Wake up to your inherent value as a woman. You're not supposed to go out there trying to prove your value. You are valuable. You're literally a woman. Okay, so when I say women are the prize and men are the pursuer, it's just because that's how God designed it to be. Even the power of your intuition, everyone has intuition. Men have intuition, women do. But a woman's intuition, girl, nothing is as powerful as the woman's intuition. You just, you're so powerful as a woman. Please listen, you're super powerful. Open your eyes to this fact. It's the truth. You don't need to worry about how to keep a man. He should be wondering, how can I keep this woman? There are other wolves out there that can get her. Okay. But there are other men out there. How can I make sure she sticks with me? This woman is good for my mental health. She is here stabilizing me. She helps to stabilize the home. They know the impact a woman has on the home. She's the one who turns the home into a home. Otherwise, it's just a house. But they know all of these. So that's why that responsibility should rely on him. He likes it. I'm telling you, the men do love pursuing. That's what makes them to fall more in love with you. When you give them that space to pursue you. Okay, just relax. Stop wondering, okay, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe I shouldn't say XYZ, maybe I should just be chill, maybe I should just, tolerate all of these, maybe I should prevent him from going to the club, maybe I should prevent him from, talking to that other girl, maybe I should ask him to block her. Girl, it's not your job to figure out how the relationship can work. It's his job. If you're doing all of those things, you've turned into his mother. That man does not want a mother for a partner. He wants you to be his dream woman. He doesn't want you to be telling him what to do, like, oh, you should have blocked this girl a long time ago. He doesn't want you to do those things, especially because they reveal to him that you're insecure. And a man doesn't want to be with an insecure woman. The only man who would want such woman is a wounded man. And it's not even because he wants her like he likes her. It's because she is there feeding his ego. So he's using her for his ego. But a healthy man feels repelled by that. Once you start displaying that kind of energy, he knows this woman doesn't know she's surprised. Why doesn't she know? I'm over here wanting her to be in my life. That's why I approached her, because I want her to be my woman. But she is more worried about the relationship than I am. Something's off right here. I don't feel attracted to her anymore. That is how you lose aura points. You know how we say it on TikTok. But honestly, that's how you repel the healthy masculine man and you keep attracting the wounded man, because they love a woman who is insecure. They can see she is insecure and they know that her insecurities will help him to feel secure, will be food for his ego. So this is what I want you to do, my girl. Pay attention to all of those thoughts that you have about wanting to do certain things to make the relationship work. Pay attention. Get a journal. Girl, I always say a journal is a girl's best friend. Get your journal and write down those thoughts. I promise it will change your life. Write it down. So whether it's the thought of, how can I please him today? Maybe I should go out there, buy him clothes, buy him shoes. Not saying you shouldn't do nice things for your man. Of course you should. But I'm saying if you're operating from the energy of, I want to please him because I want to keep him. You're like desperate to keep him, to make it work, the relationship work. That is insecure energy. But if you're operating from, oh my gosh, I just love this man so much. He's so good to me. I want to show him how much I appreciate him in my life. He makes my life easier. He's always there for me, comes through for me. He helps me out whenever I need help. Let me just do something to appreciate him. That's different. That is from love. This is from fear. Okay? So whenever those thoughts come, those fearful thoughts on how you can keep him, otherwise you're going to lose him, and how you can prevent another woman from stealing him, write them down in your journal. Don't be ashamed. Write them down, admit them to yourself at least, okay? In your journal, you can admit things you cannot even say to anybody else in the world, okay? Admit them to yourself. Self-honesty will heal you like crazy, like nothing else in this world. Second one is remembering that there is nothing wrong with you, my darling. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with your body. Nothing is wrong with your face. Nothing is wrong with you, my love, okay? Stop believing that lie. It's a huge lie. Society created all of these standards and said, women, you have to fit these standards in order to get a man. Girl. And then when you look at the standards, they're always changing. Today, thick is in vogue. Tomorrow, thin is in vogue. So it's like If you keep trying to fit society standards, it means you have to keep changing yourself, basically. So when thick is in vogue, you have to make sure you're thick. When thin is in vogue, you have to make sure that you're thin. These standards were created by fellow human beings like you and like me. Remember that. It wasn't God who said, okay, all women must be like this. It wasn't God, remember, and God is your creator. If that was what God intended, He wouldn't have created all of us with different body types, with different face cards. He wouldn't have done that. So remember this, you're obeying standards that were created by fellow human beings like you and like me who are insecure as well. Because for a person to sit down and say, in order for a woman to be loved by a man, to be truly cherished by a man, she has to be like this, that person is insecure. If you're secure, you wouldn't even think to say stuff like that. You wouldn't even think, those kind of standards wouldn't even cross your mind. They would seem stupid because they are. When you're secure, you don't think like that, okay? And you know the crazy part, even the women who fit society's standards are still being rejected. They're still being, cheated on. They're still being betrayed. They're still being hurt. So what's the point? What is the point of trying to fit those standards when the promised outcome is not even real? Because you can try your best, but guess what? A man who is wounded will still act out in wounded ways. That is, a wounded man who needs a woman's validation, a woman's admiration, a woman worshiping him because, he has a fragile ego and he's not satisfied with just yours, will still go out there. Whether you look the way society wants you to look or not, face card, body card, he will still go out there to look for more women to give him that thing, to fill his cup. Has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with how you look. So stop believing that there's something wrong with you. Don't let anybody convince you that you, my girl, are not enough. You're enough exactly how God created you, okay? God made you complete and whole. He took his time with you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God was so intentional when he created you. He thought about you. He wanted to be able to manifest himself through you, and he thought about creating you. You know what it means for the creator, the almighty God, to think about creating you, specifically you? Do you think if you were worthless that God would have made you come on this earth? Do you believe that? Why did he think about creating you? It's for a purpose. So don't let anybody convince you that you're worthless. You're not. It's not true. As long as you believe that, guess what? You will keep chasing proof that you're actually worthy. You keep chasing proof that you're enough, that there's nothing wrong with you. But if you just snap out and learn to see that, wait, it's not true. All the things that I've been believing, they're lies. There is nothing wrong with me. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am beautiful the way I am. I don't need to fit into society's standards. Guess what? That's when you stop chasing men. This is the solution. That is when you stop chasing men. Because you're chasing men because you're chasing proof that you're worthy, because you believe if you get a man, then you're worthy. This is so dear to my heart because for the longest time, I believed there was something wrong with me. Truly, to the point where when a man would come into my life, I used to think he was doing me a favor by choosing to ignore all of the things that were wrong with me and still remaining with me. I thought it was a favor. I believed that there was something wrong with my body because I remember in high school, I was always bullied for my body. I've always been very slender, as you can see. I've always been very slender. And in high school, I used to have people call me names, bully me a whole lot. I allowed them to make me feel insecure about myself, to reject myself. So after high school, I still carried that mentality with me into the world. When I moved here to Canada, it was still at the forefront of my mind that I was very slender, and because of that, I couldn't attract a man because I wasn't worthy enough to attract a man. That's what I believed. Men were the prize, so I didn't fit society standards. I couldn't attract a man, period. Whenever a man would approach me, at the forefront of my mind, I used to think, he's going to leave me once he sees that I'm really slender. I used to think like this. Let me tell you something crazy, my love. Energy is so real. Listen, I believe so much in energy because it really, girl, your thoughts contain such powerful energy that you're aware of, okay? What you're saying to yourself, someone else can sense it. I know this for a fact now. That's why I'm very careful about my inner conversations, making sure I am not condemning myself, because ultimately someone else will mirror that back to me. Let me give you an example. When I met this guy a few years ago, I remember I used to be so harsh on myself. My inner conversations were the most toxic conversations ever. I used to condemn myself for not having the precise features that were supposed to please a man. So I met this guy, we were talking, we were seeing each other, and he repeated verbatim to me what I used to tell myself. I would never forget this experience in my life. Verbatim to me, he repeated it. What he had said was something like, you don't have the exact features, the precise features that I'm looking for in a woman, in a woman's body. Now I'm like, ew. Now I'm like, oh. Now as a secure woman, that whole thing gives me the ick, because I'm like, how could I have heard that and still continued seeing that man? That's what I mean. When you're operating in wounded energy, you can tolerate a lot of things, right? Because your goal is to remain chosen by the man. That is your priority. Even if it means abandoning yourself, disrespecting yourself, whatever, you don't care. That's your goal. Now I'm like, if a man should ever say such to me, of course I'm walking away. That's the last time he would ever have the privilege of being in my life. But I stayed. I remember I even cried. I broke down in tears because it hurt my feelings so much. Back then, I couldn't see the connection between my thoughts, my inner conversations, and what he said until I started the inner work. And I realized, oh my gosh, it's so real. And I even practice with this a lot. Sometimes unintentionally I do it. I start telling things to myself and someone else will come and say that thing back to me. It's real. So my girl, if you're over there condemning your face card, condemning your body card, maybe I don't know what it is. One of my clients opened up to me about her insecurities about her legs. She felt very insecure, and that was the reason why, about her legs, and that was the reason why whenever a man approached her, she wanted to keep basically the same thing I just shared in my story. She wanted to do everything in her power to make the relationship work because she thought he was doing her a favor. The same thing I shared about my story, right? If you're over there thinking like that about yourself, let me tell you, someone will come into your life and reflect those same things back to you. They would either say to you that you're not good enough, some type of way. Basically what the guy had told me indirectly was that I wasn't good enough for him because I didn't have the physical features he was seeking in a woman. Like now I'm just like, I can't even believe that's the thing that happened. But anyway, someone else will reflect that back to you either by saying it, okay, or they will treat you in a way that confirms that belief that you're not good enough. I promise you, it's real. Practice with this. Once you start thinking of yourself as enough, as the most beautiful woman in the world, let me tell you, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. Okay, no other woman can have your uniqueness, your story, your face card, your body card. Girl, God intended for you to be unique, and that is your secret sauce. If you want to know how to be confident, hold on to your uniqueness, embrace it. God intended for you to be unique. That is something that no other woman can have, okay? Think of yourself like that. You're the most beautiful woman in the world. Of course you are. God wanted to pair you with that physical body that you have, that physical face card. It's intentional. It's intentional. Stop letting people convince you that there's something wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Unless you believe there is. Yes. So as long as I believed that there was something wrong with my body because I was slender, guess what? I acted like that. One of the greatest gifts that God ever gave to us, my girl, was the free will choice to decide how to act. Let me explain. We are amazing actors, or I should say actresses. We are. When you believe something, you can act it out so well. When you believe that there's something wrong with you, you can act out the insecure woman so well. Let me give you an example. There was a time I was at work and I remember I made a mistake. I forget what happened, but I made a mistake. And then I started feeling guilty about it and I started feeling shameful about it. Do you know what I did? I started going on social media to look for how to deal with shame. I was watching the YouTube videos. I was listening to the podcast. And I started feeling even more ashamed of myself. I believed that I was truly a shameful woman. Can you believe it? I brought it to God that day. And you know what God told me? Who told you you're a shameful woman? Who told you that? Who told you that you're dealing with shame? You're acting it out because you believe it. You told yourself, you convinced yourself that you're dealing with shame. I was like, oh my gosh, and I snapped out. Instantly, I switched my belief over to the most confident woman, the most beautiful woman, the most loving woman, the woman who has so much compassion for herself, who loves herself so much, who supports herself so much, the woman who is loyal to herself. Instantly, I started acting it out perfectly. You can act out whatever you think. Just switch your thoughts. You're an amazing actress, I promise you. So do not allow anybody convince you that you're worthless. Even if it's your parents telling you, even if it's your man telling you, whoever it is, no matter how much you love them, girl, do not believe, okay? I want you to get to the point where you're so confident in yourself, you're so secure within yourself, you know your worth. Like, you already know. You don't need to chase anything. That you've been able to detach yourself from other people's opinions about you. Even if they give you praises and compliments, it doesn't fill up your cup. Yes, it can add to the overflow. That way, if you don't let praises get into your head, guess what? You're not going to allow even the insults, the criticisms, you're not going to let them get into your head. No, you're going to think to yourself, if a person comes to me and tries to convince me that I'm not good enough because of my physical appearance, something is wrong with them. That is the truth, okay? Something is wrong with them. That is an insecure person trying to make you insecure because they see your light. They're trying to humble you. Do not let them. Don't give them that power over you. It's not true. Don't give another human being so much power over you to the point where you abandon yourself and hold on to their beliefs that do not even favor you. You hold on to them and you think of them as your truth now. You are whole. You are complete the way you are. Embrace those things about yourself, especially the things that society tries to convince you are wrong about you. I don't care whatever it is, if your eyes are spacious, if your ears are, I don't care. Girl, God intended for you to have the exact body type you have. Embrace that about you. When you embrace those things that society is calling flaws, I promise you, when a person comes to you and tries to use that against you, you no longer feel anything. You no longer feel anything because you've already embraced it. You love them now. So it's just going to be like a person just telling you about yourself. They're like, oh, your ears are so big. You're like, I know. And I love them so much. I'm even thinking about getting these earrings. They look so good on women with big ears. Girl, embrace those parts of you. Okay, I've embraced being slender. In fact, I love it now. Girl, I love my buddy. This is my dream buddy. I have my dream buddy. I'm so grateful to God for giving me the exact features he gave to me. And how I know I've healed from this was one day I was at work and a woman came looking for someone else in another office. So my work building has so many offices. So she was mistaking me for another black girl. And she was describing this black girl. She said, she looks so much like you and you also look so much like my daughter. The three of you look alike. You're tall, you're skinny. And I remember I didn't feel anything anymore in my chest. Usually whenever people would call me skinny or slender or slim, any of those words, I used to feel something in my chest because I hadn't embraced that about me, because I believed that meant something was wrong with me. I thought they were exposing my wrongness, but that was so far from the truth. It's only if you believe that will be the case for you. After helping her, I was going back into my office and I just thought to myself, girl, you've healed. I was so proud of myself. I literally gave myself a hug, like, you've healed, girl, like, thank God. I love being a slim woman. It's one of my best gifts from God that he made me have this body type. Feel the same way about yourself, about those features society wants you to be ashamed of. Refuse it. Refuse to be ashamed. Reject that mentality. It does not favor you, okay? If your man tells you there's a part of you he doesn't like, girl, run for your life. Today, if I should ever meet a man who will tell me stuff like, oh, you don't have physical features that I'm seeking in a woman, oh my gosh, girl, I will run for my life. As you should. You need to run. That tells you more about that man than about yourself. That is a man who's not serious, period. He is still thinking of women as objects to satisfy his cravings. That's what he's thinking about. That's a boy. The truth is, that's actually a boy, no matter how old he is, because he's not able to see what truly matters in life. He's still making decisions for himself, important decisions like the kind of partner that you choose for yourself. He's still making such decisions based on worldly trends, which makes no sense. If a man should say that, he has revealed to me he hasn't grown yet. He's revealed to me he's not a great decision maker yet. So I cannot even trust him to build a family with him. I cannot trust for him to be a good husband to me, especially because these worldly trends keep changing. So what's going to happen if I met the standards today, tomorrow there's a new one? What's going to happen? So he's going to abandon our entire family just to go chase a new one. That's a man still operating from his ego's urges. So he's still obeying his ego, basically, right? That is not a God-fearing man. I always encourage women to only accept men who are God-fearing. This would change your life. I'm not talking about a churchgoer, okay? Because a churchgoer doesn't automatically mean he fears God. I mean a man who truly reverences God. When a man has that heart posture, he's able to see your value. He's able to make wise decisions because he's drawing his wisdom from God. But when he's still operating from ego, he cannot see your value, my love. He's only looking at you as an object to satisfy his cravings. So he's basically still being selfish, basically. So when you meet a man who's operating from pure selfish interests, that's a man still operating from his ego. He hasn't grown yet. That is not the best choice for your life, okay? So instead of thinking about how to make the relationship work, have you even asked yourself, my love, is this even the kind of man I want for myself, for my future children? Think about your well-being. Stop thinking about how to impress him, how to please him, how to do all these things to make the relationship work. Think about your well-being. Does he treat you well? Does he treat you well? Are you happy with him genuinely? Just be honest with yourself. Take away all of the insecurities, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of losing a man, the male-centeredness. Take them all away. Put them to the side, okay? Be honest with yourself. Is this the kind of man you truly want to be with? Is this the man you truly want to be the father of your children? Is he? Because when you're in performance mode, when you're over there trying to think of ways to make the relationship work, you're performing. Guess what? You're missing red flags. You're ignoring all the incompatibilities. You're ignoring your intuition because you have a goal in your head. You have a priority in your mind to make the relationship work, to secure evidence that you're enough, because him choosing you to you is evidence that you're enough. But my love, when you take that to the side, just for now, just for this moment, pretend with me you don't have those insecurities. Pretend with me you don't have the wound of not being enough, the wound of being unworthy, the wound of having, body features that do not meet society standards. Just pretend you don't have those things. Imagine you are the most confident version of yourself. Imagine you love yourself so much. Think to yourself, ask yourself this question. Is this the kind of man I want for myself? Given how much I love myself, does he reflect my love for myself with the way he treats me? How does he talk to me? Does he talk to me so rudely, so disrespectfully? Does he even put his hands on me? These are the things you should be thinking about, my love, okay? Your well-being should be your priority. Relationships, once again, should be enjoyed, not suffered. Your future should also be your priority. Is this the kind of man you want to spend most of your life with? Remember, for better, for worse, is this the kind of man you want to have by your corner when you're going through life's greatest challenges? Is he even capable of supporting you? Does he support you when everything is amazing, let alone when things are not so good? These are the things you should be thinking about, my love. Think about the well-being of your children, your future children, or even your current children if you already have kids with him. Think about their well-being. Think about their future, my girl. Think about your generations, okay? Place all of these things above temporary things like seeking his validation, seeking his approval. Those things do not matter. If you give them to yourself, you would see that they do not matter. What truly matters is, okay, is this a good father for my kids? Do I want my daughter to emulate this kind of relationship with her own future partner? Do I want my son to emulate this behavior from his father? Is this a good father for my kids? Is this a good partner for me? Is he a good husband for me? Think about these things instead, okay? Watch out for those things because they will instantly put you into observation mode. And I always say observation keeps a woman in her feminine power. When you're observing instead of performing, you can barely miss red flags. You can barely ignore incompatibilities. You can barely ignore those things that do matter. You're looking out for those things that matter, and those are the things that you're prioritizing. The last one I wrote here, how to break out of male-centeredness, is by respecting the boundaries that you set. Once you start respecting your own boundaries, let me tell you, that is when the world will respect your boundaries. Whatever you're seeking from the outside world, this is the secret. Once you give those things to yourself, the world has no choice but to give it to you as well. When you respect yourself, when you validate yourself, when you love yourself, girl, that's when you will get those things. Have you come across women who seem like they're so powerful, so magnetic? You admire them so much because it seems like they're always respected, they're always valued, they're just taken seriously. It's because they gave those things to themselves first. They respect themselves first. They respect the boundaries they set first. So when you set a boundary, when you tell yourself, I wouldn't tolerate a man speaking to me like this anymore. and you honor that boundary, guess what? Your energy, first of all, it's like it adds confidence to you, because I always say self-confidence is really self-trust, right? You trust yourself, you trust that you will have your own back, you trust that you will honor yourself, and that makes you move with confidence. So you just start moving with this kind of different energy, with this energy of being so sure of yourself, not doubting yourself, not being insecure. You're so secure within yourself. When you do meet a man, just by your energy, a lot of times you don't even need to say anything. Your energy alone tells him, this is a woman I cannot mess with. This is a woman I cannot disrespect. I cannot walk all over her, because she will walk away. She will put me in check. He knows from your energy. So set boundaries. What are those things that you've been wanting to express, you've been wanting to change? Maybe the way he talks to you, maybe he talks to you so degrading, uses derogatory terms. Start small, okay? Because when you start small and you honor those small commitments to yourself, it gives you confidence to do the bigger things. So I wouldn't say just break up with him, because you might not feel confident to do that yet, and that's okay. Confidence is built little by little. I want you to start honoring your own choices. So for example, let's say you go out to a restaurant to eat. You don't like seafood, but your man loves it, right? The old version of you, who was male-centered, would have tried to please him by pretending you also want what he wants, pretending to enjoy it as well. Or if you did express to him that you didn't want to eat seafood, and he told you, just have it, like it's just seafood, what's the big deal, you're so weird, why don't you like seafood, it's just food. The old version of you would have succumbed and been like, you know what, he's right, I'm wrong for feeling this way, he's a prize, let's try to keep him, let's try to not do anything that will make him lose interest in us. But this new version of you, my girl, the version of you who is secure, who is not male-centered, who does not outsource her worth, her value, her happiness to a man, stands firm in her choices. She gives herself the permission to express her dislikes. It's okay to not like certain foods. Yes, it's food, but it's okay. You're a human being. You know what's not okay? To try to force someone to eat what they don't like to eat. That is what is not okay. Try to force someone to like the same things you like. That is not okay. So the new version of you stands firm and says, no, I would not like to eat that. And you don't succumb. You don't give in. You hold it there. That is what this new version of you is going to do. Starting small to honor your boundaries, honor your choices, honor those parts of you that you've been trying to hide just to please him. Honor those parts of you. Express your true likes and your true dislikes. Let's say he loves horror movies, but you don't. And he suggests going to the movies to watch a horror movie, but you don't want to do that. They scare you, they scar you, in fact. They traumatize you so bad. You have bad dreams because of that. And he's telling you, let's just go, like it's just a movie, it's not even real, you're such a scaredy cat, and blah blah blah. Still stand firm in your choice. Do not abandon yourself. Abandoning yourself is abandoning your true likes, your true desires, your true dislikes, and wanting to take on someone else's because you believe that makes you more appealing to him. But look at the situation. He is free to express his true desires, right? He's free to express his true likes, his true dislikes. He tells you freely he likes horror movies. Why are you not free to express yourself as well? Especially when it comes to things that are for your own well-being, right? Horror movies do not traumatize him, so it makes more sense to look out for yourself because they traumatize you. You will have to deal with the trauma at the end of the day. Make sure to look out for yourself, not trying to join him in doing something. He would not be affected, you would. Start expressing your true self bit by bit, and you'd find that eventually confidence will just start flowing through your veins because now you're learning to trust yourself more. And let me tell you, that is when that man will start to respect you. When he starts to see, wait, she's no longer bendable. She's no longer bending over backwards for me. Two things would happen. Either he will feel super uncomfortable and walk away, just sabotage the entire relationship, abandon you because you're no longer his type. His type, if he's a wounded man, his type could have been a bendable woman, but you're not her anymore. So he would walk away, and that's amazing, thank God. Or the second thing that could happen is he will start to respect you way more. This is so real. Even if he's a wounded man, sometimes he will start to respect you more. Because you're becoming more secure, he will start becoming more healthy. This is so real. That's why I said, women, we underestimate our impact. Your power is so real as a woman. You inspired the man. So when you start becoming more secure, you will indirectly help him to become healthier. I've seen this happen so many times, even in my own personal life. He will transition from wounded into a healthy masculine man because he sees you and he admires you. There's just something about you, like you're becoming your true self, you're becoming authentic to yourself. And let me tell you, everyone can sense authenticity, and this is an energy that is so magnetic because as human beings we recognize that most people are wearing masks. So when you meet a person being their true self, you're like, oh my gosh, you're intrigued by them, you're drawn to them because they remind you of something that you also hold within you, but maybe you don't have the courage to express it as well. Either way, if he decides to walk away, amazing for you. If he decides to stay and turn into a healthy man, one who respects you, respects your decisions, your choices, your boundaries, amazing too. So both work for you. Just to wrap up the video, my love, remember this: what makes a woman secure is the simple mentality shift from scarcity mentality to abundant mentality. When I was an insecure woman, it was because I was operating in scarcity mentality as well, thinking this is the only man in the world, so I have to do XYZ for him, thinking I lacked something that only he could give to me. No. If you want to become a secure woman like this, embrace an abundant mentality. This is the mentality that the most magnetic women have. The women who just seem to draw opportunities to them, draw healthy love to them, just draw all of the blessings to them all the time. It's because they have an abundant mentality. This or better. If this man cannot give me what I desire to feel safe, guess what? Another man will. Always have that mentality. That will help you stay secure. God did not create only one man in the world. You forget this, and that's the reason why you're chasing. That's why you're striving to keep him. You forget it. You're striving to keep him despite the fact he might not even be good for you because you forget. Snap out of that mode, okay? And remember, your creator himself is super abundant. Just go outside and look at everything he created. He didn't create one of something. So it's not just one man that exists. That tells you how abundant-minded God is. And when you start to see that you deserve the absolute best in life, just open up your heart to receive this blessing. You deserve the absolute best in life. You're amazing, my love. You're beautiful inside and out. You deserve all the good things that life has to offer. When you start to believe it, you start moving like it. So that means if a man is offering you nonsense, if a man is offering you nothing but suffering, you're able to just walk away because you remember, wait, I deserve way more. And this is the reason why I'm always talking about self-love, filling up your own cup. Because if you do not fill up your own cup, if you do not love yourself, if you do not give yourself all the things you're seeking, guess what? You will always settle for bare minimum. You will always settle for crumbs. You will always keep chasing men. And not just any man, you will keep chasing wounded men even. You will remain attracted to wounded men. When you snap out of that, wounded men start giving you the ick. It's like, ew. I'm telling you, you will look back and be like, I cannot even believe that I was attracted to that type of man. Honestly, and it's amazing to be over here, okay? When you give yourself all the love, all the things you're seeking, guess what? That is when you'll be able to recognize the bare minimum. That's when you'll be able to recognize when a man is mistreating you. Otherwise, you will not recognize it. Recognizing is an ability that only comes when you give yourself those things, okay? The only way you will believe that you deserve the best in life is when you give yourself the best. Otherwise, you wouldn't believe it. Even if a good man comes your way and tries to give you the best, you will think you don't deserve it. Why? Because you don't even give it to yourself. But when you give it to yourself, and even the more you give it to yourself, the more you come to embrace it. The more you come to embrace it, and anything that comes to you that is not the best, that presents you with suffering, you will reject it. You will be quick to walk away. Give yourself all the love you're seeking, my love. I promise you, this is truly the answer. This is how to snap out of male-centeredness. And if you're curious to learn how to do this, I just made a video about it, I think like 10 days ago. But I think it's called, I actually don't remember. I think I'll just put it in the description for you, okay? But it's something about self-love, okay? That video will benefit you so much. All right, that's everything, my love. Thank you so much for sitting with me, taking the time out of your day to just sit like this with me. It really means the world to me. Comment in the section, girl. Drop a comment in the comment section, okay? Let me know how this has impacted you. Let me know what stood out to you, what resonated the most with you. I really would love to hear from you. I want to just interact with you girl to girl, okay? Thank you so much, my love. And remember, you're not too broken to heal. You're not too far gone. If I could get to where I'm at today, to be a secure woman, to be a confident woman, to be a woman who is very authentic to herself, then so can you. See you in the next video.